Okay, welcome everybody to another Rev Talk. We're going to have a discussion on what happens when you're burnt out and you just don't feel like you can read any cards, you can get any messages, that you can't do anything. Is it because in December, we're in January and winter, we're supposed to relax and take care of ourselves? Or is it there another reason? What do you think, Reverend Kim?
We've had this discussion, Reverend Beverly, before, and I get it. Everybody does. You reach a point where it's kind of you've hit a saturation point where you're like, you know what, I've had it up to here, and I just don't. Now, I wanted to ask you because you said you haven't been pulling cards, you haven't been, and you feel like you've lost that connection.
Mhm.
I believe, or I know, that connection is never lost. It may be suppressed, it may fade, it may go in and out, depending on us. But I truly believe that connection is always there because that's our connection to the divine.
Correct.
So we never lose that. We can't lose that connection to the divine because we're part of the divine. So it may feel that way. And especially with the cold months, the winter months, and I'm right there with you in that it's hard sometimes to get out of bed. And it's hard sometimes to just maintain a day for a moment. I get that. It can be very difficult. That's when that's when I think the the digging deep within ourselves and asking. And you and I discussed this earlier, asking, okay, what is it that I'm not seeing? What is it that I don't want to see? What is the message that I maybe don't want to hear because la, 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 I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You're afraid of the message.
Well, sure, because for me it's a matter of, and I can hear this whiny little voice now. Oh my gosh, you need to tell me I've got more work to do on myself. That whole thing.
Mhm.
And there are times when you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to work on myself. I've stomped my feet. I don't want to work on myself right now. And here's the cool thing. The universe, your angels, your team, the divine says, okay, that's okay. We put so much pressure on ourselves. We've got to keep going. We've got to keep doing. We've got to stay plugged in. We've got to. And they're saying, no, actually, you know what? You want to take a break? We're right there with you. We're not
Yeah.
leaving you. We're not going anywhere. We'll take a break with you. And when you're ready to pick it back up, we'll
We
be here.
start from there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel guilty because I used to meditate every morning before I got out of bed. I'd pick a card and then I'd go through my day. Well, I'm just not doing that. So I feel like, oh, I'm losing my connection. Yet at night, I'm communicating all night and talking, and I can remember that. But I just feel guilty because I'm not doing those things that we were trained with. And you're correct. It's not the training because it is all within us. And if we listen to it, you'll get your answers. You don't have to read cards. You don't have to get up and do, meditations. That's what society in general, in the I don't know what type of society, in the spiritual society, has told you that's the way you get there. And then you go and you try someone new and you try them and you try them. And the answers are within you. And I know that. And I do know the reading for 25 was it's time for us. It's time for us to take care of ourselves. And I think that seems to weigh heavy on me because I'm just waiting to be there, so I can take care of myself. And it's scary when you think you've lost it.
Yes, and I've been there before. I'm sure everybody else has been there at some point or another. And there are times when I just think, okay, I've come this far, and what? This is it? Now what? Now, oh my gosh, I failed. I start down that lovely little rabbit hole, which never serves anybody. So it's for me, and we were talking about this earlier, that I felt this really big shift. There was a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend, and I felt a huge, huge shift yesterday. The interesting thing, now that I'm thinking about that, that's Reverend Elvia had something in the email about this is the year of the hermit because it's number 9 in the tarot, and the hermit is, and that was the card I pulled yesterday morning, the hermit. And I'm thinking, okay, well, we all know there are no coincidences, only God incidents. So I think that whole shift happened. It was kind of an accumulated, reaching this point where I could just, okay, this feels good. Does that mean I'm out of the woods? No, probably not. Probably not. And yet I have made progress. So take whatever little steps that you can take each day, and then tell yourself, okay, I've made progress.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling, and I've done it too, instead of feeling guilty and saying, oh, well, I should have been meditating at this point. I should have been pulling cards. I should be able to hear all of this. No, actually, you shouldn't. Stop shooting all over yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. You need to take a break, take a break.
Yeah.
Because again, we are divine. We are part of the divine. So we cannot be separated from that. That's impossible.
That's a good message right there. We cannot be separated.
Cannot be separated from the divine. It's an impossibility. So take comfort in that and recognize that. And okay, you know what? I'm not doing everything that I thought I should be doing. The other thing that just came to mind is if you're starting to beat yourself up about I should be meditating, maybe you shouldn't be. Because if it's become a chore and something you're going to scold yourself about not doing, then it's not serving you.
That's also a good point.
I mean, we get into these habits, and then I think, oh gosh, I forgot to do that. I should be doing that. I should be. Well, if it's become a chore, then it's not necessarily in your highest good anymore.
Yeah.
Something else to think.
Labor of love. It's no longer a labor of love.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're saying, everything gets to become a labor of love. And that's how we navigate ourselves into how that feels, into feeling into how does this feel for me? Does this feel good? Okay, we'll keep doing this. Does it feel a little off? Like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Okay, then don't.
Yeah. I have found that it's amazing. I've been using my pendulum a lot. And that's unusual for me. And it swings. And so and I kind of like, okay, I got the message.
Well, that's good though. That's good because we've been given all these tools. This is why we
Right.
went into all these classes. This is why we wanted to learn. It's something else in our toolbox that we can pull out and use.
When needed.
Doesn't have to be just one thing that we do.
Mhm.
Meditation is no longer working. Okay, what else? Let's see. What else is in my toolbox? Oh, let's try this for a while. Oh, that feels good. That feels different.
Yeah.
Let me
I
bring
think I'm
more.
unstuck. I
Okay,
don't feel guilty about it anymore.
good, good. Because if you
So,
do, then you got to question why. Why am I
yeah,
doing it if I feel bad not doing it?
yeah,
I'm scolding myself. I shouldn't be doing that.
I agree. Well, thank you. That was a good message for me today.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could help, and it helped me too. That, as always, you know that.
Yeah.
So with that, how do you feel?
I feel good.
Good,
I feel complete. I understand why I'm feeling where I'm feeling.
good. I'm glad. That's awesome. I hope everybody else got that too. So with that, we want to thank you again for joining us on another Rev Talk. We want to remind you to be gentle with yourself, to be kind to yourself, and to remember that you are unique in all the universe. There will never be another just like you in all of space and time. You are powerful, you are cherished, and you are loved. And without you, the song of the universe would be incomplete. Until next time, my friends, be well.